Welcome back. 22 minutes past 9 Central African time. And we're going to be switching gears now to a very, very interesting conversation. We all know about it. South Africa's ongoing battle against gender-based violence. It has forced many women to rethink something most people take for granted, i.e. us men, getting from one place to another safely. There have been reports, I think you can go through social media, a day won't pass where there's reported harassment, intimidation, even violent crimes that are linked to transport, and whether it's taxis or e-hailing riding services that have left a lot of women searching for safer alternatives. And this is where the conversation gets interesting. A Durban entrepreneur believes she has found a solution. SheGO, that's a solution. It's a woman-focused ride-hailing platform designed to connect female passengers with female drivers with safety, empowerment, and economic opportunity at the heart of its mission. Founder Firdaus says the idea was inspired by growing concerns about women's safety while traveling, and aims to create trusted environments where women can move freely without fear. And she's joining us via our virtual platform to give us more insight on SheGO. And I know this is a conversation my colleague Nasrin Naidi is going to be listening to quite closely, because she doesn't mess with Uber or Bolt. It doesn't matter what time of the day, night, evening, you're going to drop her off at her house if you took her from somewhere. For those, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate you giving us your time. Salamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Thank you so much for joining us, and I think this is such a really, really important initiative. It's very innovative. Just take us through it. Take us back to the moment where the idea for SheGO was born. What problems specifically were you trying to solve, and how different is it? Because I've looked at my Bolt and my Uber now. There is a female drivers only option that one can pick. SheGO, how is it different to that?
So with SheGO, it is only a strictly female ride-hailing app for women and children in South Africa. There's no men allowed. Men cannot even access the app as well, because recently I implemented a biometrics feature on my app, which only allows women to enter the app and sign up as a driver and as a passenger. Also with SheGO, I personally go through every single driver's application and I approve them or I decline them. And in order to be approved, you have to upload certain documentation and you go through a thorough background check, and then you are approved as a driver.
Mm-hmm. Why SheGO, and what are you into that you now can create this kind of applications? Are you someone that's interested in the IT space, and where did that love stem from?
I think every woman in South Africa has experienced something within like the ride-hailing industry, whether it's Uber or Bolt. I personally last year went through something myself in Johannesburg, and when I got back to the UAE, I was like, no, it could also be my child one day, my daughter going through it, my mom, a family member, a cousin, a friend going through what I went through. And I just decided, no, I want to put an end to that. And I wanted to fix the problem instead of just addressing the problem.
Very, very important. You spoke something quite important, the verification process. How does that work, for both drivers and passengers? Because there was serious concern around, Uber and Bolt, and how sometimes these drivers can exchange profiles, and then you look into the app, it's one driver, but then the guy that's collecting you is a different person. How does that work, and how is it different from the ones that we know?
Okay, so the difference with my app is that every driver has to upload certain documentation, and with like the drivers that are on the app, they have to upload like documentation, like like in South Africa, like every driver has to go through a It's a certain documentation. I'm so sorry, my brain is lagging. I landed last Atlanta, so I'm also kind of exhausted because my primary job is a flight attendant, and I landed last night from Atlanta, so I'm like really exhausted. But like every driver has to be screened thoroughly. So all my drivers are screened thoroughly, and like I said, I personally go through each and every application. So I don't have someone that do it for me. I don't have the app. I go through every single application myself and I approve them. If I feel or see that there's something sketchy, immediately I block the driver and they're not allowed to sign up as a passenger or driver afterwards.
And for drivers these would be females obviously, that want to set up their accounts. How do they go about it? What's the first process that they embark on?
Okay, so you can download the app both on Android and iOS, and then there is option to sign up as a driver or sign up as a passenger. So when you're signing up as a driver, you have to upload all your documentation first, and then there's a waiting period for you to be approved. And then if you're a passenger, you sign up as a passenger, and then you go through the biometric process, and then I think once you are approved, then you are able to use the app.
You've mentioned something quite important that, beyond the safety aspect of it, you hope that SheGO can create opportunities for women drivers. It can be some sort of an economic empowerment campaign. Tell us more about that. How do you hope this assists women create some sort of a living for themselves and to create those job opportunities which in South Africa quite recently have come fine in between?
Yes, so with SheGo, I feel like it also not only creates like a safe transporting site for women within South Africa, but also job opportunities. I feel like a lot of women and a lot of females in South Africa struggle to find jobs, struggle to make an income. This can also be like a side hustle. So it can help like generate an income, and whether it's like a primary or secondary income, it can help you in that as well.
And are there enough female drivers to meet demand? And how challenging has recruitment been? Has it been smooth sailing? Are you seeing female drivers interested in SheGO?
I feel like a lot of women they're more worried about their safety first. But like I said, I also have to prioritize the safety of my drivers. That's why they cannot use the app after a certain time. I'm not only ensuring the safety of my passengers, but my drivers as well. It has been very difficult. Like I said, women are very skeptical. But so it's going like good because there's a lot of people that are emailing me asking me how they can sign up as a driver, or I'm getting a lot of applications. But the only problem is that they're not uploading their documentation, so I have not approved majority of them. But those that have uploaded, I have approved them as drivers.
The app was launched in the KZN, if I'm not mistaken. How is it expanding nationally, and what does the growth trajectory of it look like for the next 12 months, if I can give that time frame?
At the moment, it's nationwide. It's available in the entire South Africa, but it's just that SheGo is only a 1 month old, so there are much less drivers than I hope they would have been. But within the next 12 months, I hope it grows fully and it becomes not a change, but more like a movement, because I want to create a safe space, like a safe transporting space for women in South Africa. That is like my main priority, is that women are able to go out and use a ride hailing app without feeling scared, without having to share their location, without being worried that they're going to get kidnapped, murdered, or something. So I hope in the next few months that SheGo grows and it becomes like one of South Africa's like good thing. Yeah.
Let's talk about the cars themselves. Is there criteria on what kind of vehicles you want on the platform? Is there a standard that the vehicles should meet? How old should be the vehicles be? Because I think that's quite very, very important, especially for ladies.
Yes, so the majority of my drivers have their own vehicles. So when they upload their documentation, they also have to upload the drivers like the car documentation as well. I'm also in the process of like getting cars for specific drivers, like for women that cannot afford to have their own vehicle. So I'm kind of in the process of that. But there's no specific, I wouldn't say any specific car, because For me, it's like if you have a vehicle and if it is safe enough to be used on the road, safe enough for you to use it every day, then that's perfect for me.
There we go. I think we're going to leave on that note. Firdaus, thank you so much for joining us. And I think a wonderful initiative. Well done. Wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
There we go. With that, we're going to take a quick break. News and views will continue.